a more specific person as opposed to info@suchandsorecordlabel.com, which most of those never get checked, it seems like. So, but generally, you are going to have a certain amount of frustration. You're going to have to ask 5 or 6 times sometimes to get stuff like that. It's just an unfortunate reality of what.
Touching on something you just said quickly there, in your experience, how much of it is based on who you know rather than, you know, how good the music is, or...
It helps a lot. In the Christian market, there aren't a lot of free thinkers when it comes to quality music, which you can kind of see reflected in a lot of the albums that come out and a lot of the music that gets played on the radio and stuff like that. So...
Nice.
Had enough of you?
I don't know. A lot of the worthwhile people to kind of be working with in media and radio are generally a lot more approachable, and they get it. Some of the people that are a little bit harder to kind of work with and stuff like that, you know, you can leave them till later or something like that. But I just never. I decided that I wasn't going to take no for an answer. So even if it was no now, I'm gonna get on. You know, I'm gonna get on MTV. You know, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna find. You know, I ran into a guy that ran the music for Radio Disney, and he's the guy that broke Hilary Duff. And he introduced me to a guy who did some of the video programming at MTV. And when I had a particular video to pitch, I sent it to that guy and said, hey, my buddy referred me to you and stuff like that. But part of that is because I did a little bit of work and took some initiative to track someone down and
a lot of it's networking.
Be likable, yeah. I mean, it's not likable. Impossible, you know, and return phone calls and return emails and be better and quicker about it than anybody else. I told a story the other day about there's this lady that was doing an article on Christian retail in like Walmart and some of the big chain stores in America. And she had called like 5 or 6 labels and left messages for, you know, the who's who in the Christian music industry, and nobody returned her call. Absolutely nobody. And then she called 3 people in our office, and nobody returned her call, and she, on a whim, just called our office again, and somehow she got my extension, and I talked to her for 3 hours, and you know, she was doing a 5-page article for Forbes magazine, just millions upon millions of, you know, readers, and they put one of our music videos on the front of Forbes.com, you know, which was ridiculous, way out of our league and stuff like that. And I was quoted in the article and all kinds of stuff like that. So just because I took some person's phone call, and we saw a very noticeable spike in that album sales, our label sales for a period of about 2 weeks, and there was no festivals going on. It wasn't around Christmas. There was no reasonable reason for the sales to have spiked there, but our sales went up like 25% for about 3 weeks. And I mean, that was the equivalent of, I think it was something like, we made like an extra $200,000, you know, so just off of returning a phone call. So, yeah.
Before we wrap it up, we might just, if it's cool, if you could just pray a sort of general prayer for the Australian hip hop scene, the Christian hip hop scene, for all the various ministries and stuff like that. And then Martin, if you could pray for Josh and Jenny.
Yeah.
And then if you guys are cool, we might just pass the hat around if anyone feels, you know, led to bless Josh and Jenny before they go back, you know, to the States or whatever, you know.
Yep.
So,
all right.
We're not going to film it.
Thanks.